All right, gotta go. Next week. Back. Driven it in the past with like a sports car or something like that. Go ahead and just throw that all out the window. The braking points are completely different in a stock car. Everything's just a lot earlier. Um, but without further ado, I'm gonna walk you through the first lap. Um, just slowing down and kind of describing everything for you, and then second lap, which it ends up being a second slower. I think that's just kind of normal fall off. Neither lap's absolutely perfect, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of what to do, where to brake, and kind of the line that you should be taking. So headed up the hill, long straightaway. Get up to fourth gear here. All right, so first place is gonna be for turn one. Um, I just found out that using the end of pit wall here, somewhere between there and then further up here, there's like four cones. It goes four cones, three cones, two cones, just kind of using that as a brake marker. So a little bit after the end of this pit wall here, you're going to begin braking. You want to do, it usually applies for this car, but you want to do all your braking in a straight line, or at least the majority of your heavy braking in a straight line to kind of eliminate the chance of you locking the wheels up. But you're gonna get down to second gear here. I start braking here. I spike the brakes pretty hard, but there's a lot of heavier braking zones here. I'm gonna get it down to second gear, kind of where the start of this rumble strip is where you're gonna start turning in. You want to get down to the rumble strip here on the inside, and then you're going to exit on the rumble strip to the outside. That pretty much applies for every turn. You just want to really maximize your line to carry as much speed as possible. So, if I'm not mistaken, they consider this heavy braking zone up here to be like turn four or something. They number some of these like kinks on straightaways that are early turns as turns. But anyways, look for your braking signs here on the left side. Uh, kind of in line with the four. It's where I am going to start braking. Again, heavier on the brake. Go from third gear down to second. Rumble strip and then exit out on the left, which is going to set you up for one of probably the hardest braking zones that there is. You're going to go up to fourth gear. You end up going down to first gear here. There's a couple things I look for. You can see where this white line starts going from smooth and then it angles outwards, and then the 5 brake sign. Here is too early where the line darts out, but the 5 is probably too late, so somewhere in the middle of that. I think if you really get your braking down right, you can probably wait until the 5, but it's not safe and I wouldn't recommend it. I'm braking here. Again, straight line. You're going to be a little bit more middle to right than you are on the right side here because this bend kind of is still occurring. You want to avoid this dirt here on the right, but what you do want to aim for is this little bit of runoff area, and you can get up on the rumble strip a little bit here. Bring it all the way down to first gear. Gonna start my turn in really where this is pretty easy, just where it changes here. Get all the way to the inside and then exit far out to the right. There's quite a bit of runoff area here. This lighter section, you can pretty much run off anywhere on that. I think if you were to somehow end up over that, that's going to end up being an off track. Up to third gear. This turn is tricky because it's a blind entry. And you don't really have that great of a brake marker. I kind of use the start of this red sign on the right as I'm just kind of passing it. You're going to just keep it in second gear. It's not till here that you can really start seeing the apex. So you're going to, I'm turning in at this point. You want to get it just like any other turn to the inside, and then you're going to push it out to the right. Now, you can run off on this section, but you don't want to run too wide for too long because you're immediately going to want to get back to the left here to set up for your next turn. Another kind of odd turn, I more so go by feel than anything. You're doing a little bit of braking here, not a ton. So you can see I spike it really quick, and then I'm already back out of it. Same deal. Clip the inside curb and then push out to the left. Just carrying as much speed as possible. Really run up on the that curbing a bit here. And back out to the right. You got brake signs for this turn. It's downhill, so it makes it a little bit more prone to lock up. So just remember, try and brake in a straight line. Start braking at the 4 if I'm not mistaken. Heavy, heavy, heavy on the brakes. Just do not lock them up. Get down to second gear here. And then once this rumble strip starts, I try and get my right sides just a little bit on the rumble strip just to widen the entry for the turn. And I use the really good audible signal that you're on the curb. I mean, it makes a sound when you're on top of the curb. You can rumble to it. So once I hit the end of that rumble strip is when I'm going to start my turn in. Get to the inside. Again, second gear here. You're going to exit out to the right. All of this is pretty much fair game if I'm not mistaken. But another one where you don't want to get too wide for too long because you want to get back to the left for entry into the slow carousel here. I'm braking ever so slightly, and I think sometimes I may not even brake at all. But you're doing it before you go under the bridge here. This turn is just really slow and lazy. I play with the throttle a lot in this turn. You'll see it spike up to 50%, and then I may drop it down to 0 and spike it a little bit more. I'm just trying to use the throttle to help the car turn. It's just a flat, slow. I'm just waiting for the moment where you're going to get back into it. So once you're getting towards the exit, you see this rumble strip to the inside. It's not until you get to like the end of the red and yellow that you're really able to start easing back into the throttle and exit out to the left. Using all of the rumble strip here. Make sure you don't dip tires into the dirt. Death hooks you. Bad things happen. This turn is tricky because it's just such high speed and you're going down this stretch here. It's just a long straightaway, so you want to maximize your speed through this little kink to make sure you get a good run down to another heavy braking zone. It's commonly referred to as Canada Corner. It's turn 11, something like that. I don't know. But entry into the kink here, I'm going to start my braking here at the 2. I'm going to try and get my left sides up on that rumble strip, again, widening the entry to just try and carry as much speed as possible. And then as I'm starting to do it here, kind of as you're hitting that 1 sign is when you're going to want to try and do your turn in. I miss the apex a bit here, but you want to try and get your right sides right along that curb there. and then really maximize your exit here. If you get in too hot or carry too much speed, you may dip a tire in the dirt. You wanna, if you feel it hit the dirt, you definitely want to abandon the throttle at that point, or else it's gonna hook. It's a fine balance for sure. Gonna get up to fourth gear here. So this turn is very tricky for me. This is Canada corner. In sports cars, you go around this bend usually, and then you start braking. In the stock car, it seems like that is too late. So you actually have to start braking before you even go around this bend. So you have to be delicate with it. Very, very, very easy to lock the brakes. But as you're going around the bend, you want to try and get the car off to the left side to maximize your entry. So it's like right here. And I'm only giving it a little bit of brake because I am still turning. And then I'm going to give it a little bit more as I start getting around the bend. And I'm going to get down to second gear here. You only use first gear for that really long downhill turn right there. Try and get to that curb. I miss it a little bit. But then on exit, all of this is fair game. And to really carry speed, you gotta use it. But again, don't get too wide. Dirt's bad. Stay in second gear here. Kind of just playing with the throttle, getting off to the right here. As you hit the end of this rumble strip is where you're gonna start your turn in. And I'm already applying a little bit of brake here. Getting to the left. This turn, and actually it's literally about to try and rip on me here. I found this turn to be the most common area for your car to kind of get unstable, I would say. So you just got to be patient on the throttle. You're going to exit out to the right, but not too wide because you immediately want to get to the left to set up for the final turn. You can see I have to really correct it there. I use this where the pavement color changes on this track. A little bit before that's where you're going to start braking. I'm going to straight line it, and this is kind of obscure because you're going to go straight line here, angling towards the outside of the track so you can get your left sides on this rumble strip here. Second gear for this turn. And then as you're getting like the end of that rumble strip, you're going to start your turn in, get to your apex here on the inside, and then push out to the left where there's another big runoff area to carry as much speed as possible down this really long straight up the hill. And that completes you a lap here. I'm going to let this second lap play through at full speed. But at the end, if you have any questions or anything, definitely comment, let me know, and I will see what I can do to help you out. This lap does end up being a little bit slower, but that's just normal fall off of the tires. I think this lap overall is a lot cleaner line-wise, except into Canada corner I do lock the brakes up, so keep an eye out for that. saw I was probably like 90% brake there, so I just gave it a little bit too much brake.